All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Life Alchemy, a life by design that you get to create. And it's 2025. So happy New Year. I haven't seen Matilda in over a year now. So we're going to catch up on some of the things that are going on and we're going to learn about lots of new things that we can do. And as we head into 2025, you're going to start to see weekly episodes of this podcast come out. And that's our commitment for 2025 so that we can keep you up to date on all the fun things we're doing, you're doing, and all the great things. So, Matilda,
Yes.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy New Year. It's a great opportunity to kind of like set the intention for the year and share tips on what we're going to do for ourselves and things that you could perhaps do for yourself to you start healthier habits and increase your productivity. So, what do you
So,
think, you?
so real fast, we're going to get into some points that help you guys kick off for 2025. I don't believe in New Year's resolutions because as soon as you don't do it, everybody stops. We're going to talk to you about creating streaks and your consistent action. And so we're going to go through and lay out a couple things that Matilda and I have planned for 2025 and talk about how you can implement something similar or just take it, modify it for you so that you can have a more productive 2025 because the goal is to have a successful year. So, Matilda, what is the first point that you're going to do and you want to share with our amazing listeners?
Yes, so yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think the resolution thing is such a cliche, and of course, we start doing it for 2 weeks max, and then it goes down the drain. But I do want to say that every January I set the intention, and it's always kind of the same. And number one is being healthy. I think being healthy is definitely the key to success in life. Mental, physical, it really increases, your focus, your overall productivity when you're healthy. And I think for me, it starts with regulating my sleep. I'm a social media manager, so I'm always on my phone. And I know a lot of people are on their phones nowadays or behind the screen, and it really dysregulates your sleep schedule, your hormones. So I am going to make clear boundaries to really cut off my phone after 9 p.m. I'm trying to be realistic here and not spend like I used to spend hours, at night on my phone. So that's definitely going to be one of my main focus, regulating my sleep, getting healthy, and actually every January I say, oh, I'm going to get back to the gym. Over the years, I've become more and
Oh, so
more.
wait, we're gonna hold you accountable to the gym now? Is that what you're saying? I'm gonna ask you every day, have you gone?
So, well, I would say that because I say that every year, I've become a healthier person actually over the years. And it's not just about exercising, it's mental and physical. And I'll give you some tips. But I finally found things that I love. It took me years because I used to say, oh, yeah, of course, I'm going to go to the gym. It lasts 2 weeks and then I never go again until next January. But I think that I found what works for me. And I think the one tip is to find something fun, something that you actually enjoy. And it doesn't have to be hard. It's supposed to just, moving is really a gift. It's really a gift for your mind and your body. It really increases productivity, it boosts your energy level, it makes you happier. So it's truly a gift. And I think if you find something that you truly enjoy, then you can be more consistent. And it's not just a New Year's resolution, but it's really a life changer. And for me, it's really yoga. Like I personally love dancing and yoga, so I found my two activities, and so I'm going back to it more seriously because I was traveling a lot. So, but
What
yeah.
seriously? Is that once a week, twice a week? What we doing here? What's our commitment?
So the commitment for me is at least once a week because I'm trying to be realistic, with my schedule. But once to twice a week, definitely on weekends. Like I actually went this weekend. So yes, I'm actually really doing it, and I'm enjoying it. So it's more fun. So I want to go. So that's part of like my health, my little health trick. And also, I'm gonna do dry January, so no alcohol for me, and I do it every year. And I really think that actually I want to cut off alcohol just on the long run because we live in New York, we network, we go out, but I just feel like it increases your clarity and you focus, and also, you feel drained after a night, even having 2 drinks. So that's going to be part of my healthy habits. Just, yeah, overall getting healthier. That's my first, my main point.
All right, so you heard it here first. She's gonna sleep more. She's gonna do yoga once or twice a week, and she's gonna be, no alcohol for the month of January. So we'll keep checking in on you and seeing how
Yes,
it's going.
I make you accountable for that.
Yes, we're accountable now. Awesome. And so everybody out there, one of the biggest things is what she's talking about there is also finding that accountability partner, somebody that's going to hold you to your goals
Yeah.
and things like that. So that's why I do an accountability training every week for people on there. But for me, I talk about consistent daily action, right? I don't care what your actions are, you get to pick them. So you heard Mathilde picked her 3, get more sleep, be able to do that. And then we got to be able to hold ourselves accountable. A lot of people do is they set unrealistic goals that they can't control. So my tip for you is to set a goal that you can control. And I'll give you a quick example. I just did another training earlier today, and we talked about this. A guy was like, I make 25 phone calls a day, but I want to talk to 20 people, but I only talk to 2, so I feel like a failure. And our mental state allows us. I said, well, why don't we just turn the goal into make 20 phone calls a day? And then you feel successful because you make it. And we can control making the phone calls. We can't control if somebody else on the other side answers. So a lot of people are like, well, I want to work out, so can make the goal 20 minutes of workout. Doesn't matter what it is, like Mathilde said, movement, yoga, whatever. It's 20 minutes. Once I hit my 20 minutes, I did it. It doesn't matter. So many people are like, well, I'm going to do this particular workout, and then you don't like it, just like Mathilde talks about, and then you don't have that ability. So set goals that we can control and just set 3 of them. 3 consistent daily actions that move you towards success. If you do 1 of them, 300 times better. If you do 3 of them, that's over 1,000 times towards your goal. So
That sounds
there's my
good.
there's my first tip for you. So Mathilde, what's your second tip for 2025?
So my second tip, because I really want to focus on productivity this year, and also that why for personal reason, because I launched my social media management business last year, and this year, I'm really into it. So I'm focusing on productivity, and that's why number one is health, because it really helps being more productive. And number two is staying organized. I mean, I think everybody kind of struggle to a certain level nowadays to be organized, whether you have ADHD or not, it doesn't matter. I think the phone, number one, is a big distraction. Internet, just an overload of data and information, and we kind of feel restless, like you feel like there's always something else to do, or something you missed, or it just never ends, honestly. And I see it more and more with just everyone around me. So I think that there's a few tips. I mean, everybody's different, but for me, it starts with something you like. You shouldn't jump into your to-do list right away in the morning. And I actually been doing it for years. You practice the romanticize your life. Start slow, make your little coffee, your breakfast, read a book, maybe go on a walk, listen to a podcast. So I like to start with something enjoyable before jumping on my to-do list. And if that means you gotta wake up maybe 15 minutes earlier, but take this little time for yourself. When we think about accomplishing tasks, usually we think about the final project, and that's so overwhelming and so stressful. And that's when you sometimes you feel like you will never do it. Like you just can't do it. It's just you don't even know where to start. And so the main thing is to um, just break things into steps. You speak about it in your book. And I think it's something that's extremely important and really inspired me to focus on 3 main tasks. And I actually suggest 1 to 3 main tasks. And if you actually accomplished 1 to 3 main tasks, then you can feel like your day was successful. I used to have very long to-do lists, but after I read your book, I have to tell you, maybe I never told you, but I kind of changed my entire strategy. And I think that focusing on 3 main tasks has been very helpful. And like you say, you recommend to perform those 3 main tasks in the morning, so you can have more time for yourself and feel better in the afternoon and do more things. I want to say something else. My way of doing things, I always start with something very easy, because that kind of helped me feel like I accomplished it. It kind of boosts my confidence level, and I feel like, okay, I want to do more, because I just realized this really easy task that I needed to do, and I just felt proud of myself, and I want to do more. So, um, yeah, that's
Yes.
one of the tip. Yeah, and I wanted to say something else.
That goes back to the mindset there. So like Matilda was talking about my book, The Launch Button, that she started implementing some of those things, but it goes back to the same thing on the phone calls, right? When you complete something, you have higher energy level, you feel successful
Yes,
versus not feeling successful, right? And I always
yes,
say you're either taking actions towards success, towards your goals and success, or you're taking actions or inaction away from your goals and towards failure. So which one do you want to do? Whether we realize it or not, we're moving in a direction each time. So let me talk a little bit about the success formula, why you come up with that other thing on the organization there. So a lot of people are really good at planning. They do their vision boards at the end of the year. All right, here's my vision for next year. They're really good at prepping, but they're not so good at executing,
yeah,
actually taking the actions. And then the last thing is they go into it with the wrong mindset, right? And so they don't expect a good outcome. They go into it with a bad outcome. So my suggestion for you for the month of January, since Matilda's doing a dry January, you go into every conversation or every situation with the mindset for success or a positive outcome. Now, at first, you won't be able to catch it beforehand. You're only going to look at it afterwards. But when we go into it, we call it an open hand. A buddy of mine, Greg, came up with the prepare, plan, execute. And I added expect because we expect a positive. But I want you to go into it with an open hand and think about how you're going to come out with a good agreement, whether it's this podcast filming, whether it's a negotiation, whether it's a date, whether it's a business call, whatever it happens to be. Check your mindset. Are you going in with an open hand or are you going home in with a closed fist for an argument? Because we get what ends up coming out. 97% of our communication is through body language, and only 7% is through words. So the words don't matter as much as what our expectation is when we go into a situation. So check yourself as you go into every situation. And sometimes it'll happen afterwards, but if you can do it beforehand, then you know what type of outcome you're going to get. So expect to succeed in 2025.
my point three kind of joined what you just said about being happy and set the right intention. Creating a mood board, I think actually it's important because number one, it's a fun project, something that you kind of like do with enthusiasm. You can do collage, you can paint, you can draw, whatever you want to do. And also it helps you have a clear idea of what are your goals for the year. And it's something that you should keep close to your living space. Store it in some places where you have access and you can look at it. Art in general, creating art as being a saver, and I think it's something that brings beauty and again goes back to my philosophy of life, which is romanticizing things, slowing down, making things extraordinary. My third point today is trying to be happier by creating, by using art, and also trying to romanticize every little moments you have in life that are ordinary, but try to make them beautiful, because beauty in general, I think, inspire us to be happier and to do things. And it's something that we don't speak about, but I think it's something important. Beauty is everywhere. Beauty is in nature, is in a moment, is in
Yeah.
people, and it's very inspiring. So try to
Yeah.
do something that makes you happy.
Well, that's what it is, right? I think that's the key. Whatever it happens to be that makes you happy, like install something in that. So that's a great tip three for people on that. And our point sort of coincided with each other because my last point is, to supercharge your life, you've got to surround yourself with the right people. There's plenty of studies done with the top 5 people you hang out with, the right attitude. And for 2025, you may have to cut some people out of your life that have been holding you down and doing that. So it's okay to make space for new opportunities. I was just talking with somebody on previous call, and we talked about superpower in your life is making sure you have the right community. So like every Wednesday, I run an accountability call for people all around the country in the United States and Canada, and they all get on there like, this is what I'm going to do this week, and then we hold them accountable. And so whatever that happens to be for you, some person just got let go from 2 different jobs today. She got said nope, and was like, okay, well, that just makes space for your new opportunity. So finding those right people to surround yourself with that can help explode where you want to be, as well as give you opportunities and you can learn from. And that's what we're going to do on this podcast is we're going to bring on people that you can surround yourself with that can also help you grow and expand and show you those right different mindsets so that you can make sure that you're in that place. But find out who your people are and actually define them. That's one should be one of the exercises that people do is who are the people or types of people that I want in my life, in my business, in my relationships. You can define them by income. You can define them by, Matilda likes artists. So may want to hang out with more artists in 2025, right? Where do they hang out? We got to put ourselves in positions for success. Whatever that happens to be for you, if you can define them based on income. There was one point in my life I said, I want more millionaires in my cell phone, right? More millionaires in my cell phone, or now more billionaires in my cell phone that I can reach out to whenever I want. And so that was an intention I set. And then all of a sudden I started meeting all of these different people. So when we start to define the people versus the random people that just come into our lives, we know who we want to hang out with, who we want to surround ourselves with. And those are the people that you're going to go ahead and connect with. Right? Matilda and I met at a networking event. You'll hear our stories on our previous podcast, and it just grew over time to where we are today at this podcast, having some fun with you and being able to do that. So set the intention of who you want to meet in 2025 and define that and find that community that's going to superpower you.
Absolutely. It's such an important point. I always speak about that. Your environment is everything. We're very receptive. We're human beings. We're not machines. So we're very receptive to what's around us, the frequencies, whether it's in the streets or the people we talk to. But I also think I want to add one point. I think the people that surround us are a reflection of ourselves. So, if you're not in the perfect mindset right now, and let's say if you're depressed, it is kind of normal that you're going to attract people that reflect your energy. So it really starts with yourself and trying to find happiness in the little moments wherever you are in life. We all go through things. Just stay hopeful and try to find happiness and do healthy things that will make you proud of yourself. And I think it's actually something that will help you attract the right people as well.
Yes. And if we are hanging out with negative people that are constantly putting us down, then those are the people we need to cut off. And it might be tough. It might be family. It might be friends. It might be stalkers. It might be whatever it happens to be. But we've got to start taking that accountability with ourselves as part of it, because we allow other people to treat us in a certain way. So if we don't want to be treated that way, it's not a reflection on them. It's really a reflection on us, as you were saying. It's a reflection on us that, hey, we need to go ahead and hold a higher standard, because oftentimes we'll do that for other people. We'll be like, oh, don't do that. But we lie to ourselves all the time. We got to stop lying to ourselves, and we got to start creating our standards. So we'll talk about standards on our next podcast on how we can start to raise our standards for a better life in 2025. Love it. And it's one of those simple things that we just inch up those standards, and all of a sudden you're in a better place, a better thing. So thank you all for being here. We appreciate, and we look forward.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We look forward to all of Matilda's success, our success, your success in 2025. So hit the hearts, hit the likes, stay plugged in, hit us up on the social media, and we'll be back with more in 2025. See you next time.